Hi, I'm Gabby with Score Fort Worth, and today we are talking with Mr. Joseph Longo of Score Fort Worth as well. He's one of our mentors, and we're talking about the health of your business. Just like your own annual wellness visit, you should have a annual check-in with all of your business planning, your processes, et cetera, especially so that you can respond to the changes in the business landscape as they happen in real time. So today, Joe is going to share some insights on the importance about short and long range planning, as well as establishing solid processes to get your business across challenging and smooth times. Joseph, thank you for being with us today.
It's my pleasure, Gabby.
Before we jump into the topic of our interview, why don't you introduce yourselves to our listeners? How long have you been with SCORE? What's your background? How'd you come to us?
Sure. My name is Joseph Longo. I spent the majority of my life and career in the greater New York City area. My background is basically 80% corporate, 20% small business. I spent approximately 38 years as in different levels of sales leadership and marketing leadership positions with fundamentally two corporations, the Hewlett-Packard Medical Company and also Philips Healthcare. So I spent 80% of my career there, and the other 20%, when I retired from both of those positions, both of those corporations, I launched my own small business as a consulting firm, as an education firm, and I've gained a multitude of experience in the small business world through that.
Let's get into today's topic.
Sure.
So, business planning and establishing processes for all aspects of a healthy business operation. In preparation for our chat today, you and I spoke on the phone, and we talked about how the businesses who successfully weathered the pandemic are those who planned well for contingencies. This is usually business planning is the part that our mentees are usually like the least sort of like enthused about, right? But it is what ensures your success, especially given the last year we've had in business. Tell us a little bit, what are the fundamentals of good business planning, like short and long range, so that you can successfully pivot and successfully take advantage of windfalls when they happen?
Sure. I think, as I think of your question, the one visual that comes to mind immediately is the business plan. Okay, the business plan is a document, and when I advise my mentees that are looking to launch a business, or even if they've already launched, our mentees have very creative ideas. But I find that, and I've been doing this now approximately 4 years, I've done close to maybe 200 sessions with mentees over the 4 years. What I find is that folks that I meet with come again with great ideas. They're very creative, but they lack the foundational settings, the foundations that they need to build this stellar business, this stellar idea, this service delivery idea on top of. Okay. So what I try to do is I try to make sure that, number one, that they have a business plan. Now, most of the mentees that I meet with have their business plan, but it's all up in their head. And what I advise them to do is, let's take whatever's in your head and let's put it onto paper. And I advise them to do it in pencil, okay? Because it's definitely going to change.
Excellent.
A business plan for any business, large, small, creative, commodity, service or product, that business plan is going to change fundamentally because of the changes in the market. And we've all experienced that over the past 18 months, some significant changes in the market. But I think that it's important to utilize the business plan format, because what it does, it forces the individual to think of what potentially may happen and what's my plan, okay? How am I going to fund this business? How am I going to go to market with this business? What's going to be my plan associated with both of those critical areas of business? The business plan also forces the individual to think of not just tactically how they're going to deliver product and or service, but strategically. And that's where I find most of the small business entrepreneurs lack dedicating the appropriate amount of time to thinking strategically. What I tell people, I advise them that you should be thinking 10% of your time should be strategic planning, and 90% or 110%, because all of our entrepreneurs are working at 130% of their efficiency. The balance of that time should be spent tactically delivering your products, services, growing the business. But if you lack that 10% of strategic thinking, if you don't pull yourself out of the business, zoom up to the 100,000-foot view and say, okay, where do I want this business to be in 1, 3, or 5 years?
Yep, absolutely.
That's a critical set of questions. Because if you don't have those answers, if you don't even think of those questions, then how do you create a plan to meet your objectives and goals? If you don't set those strategic goals at 1, 3, and 5 years, albeit 5 years for some small businesses is a little unpredictable, but a 3-year and a 5-year set of goals, I think is very doable for literally any business that I could think of. A lemonade stand could have a 1 and a 3-year strategic set of goals, okay? So if you don't have that set of goals, how could you put together a plan on how you're going to run the business and in which direction you're going to have this business grow?